Welcome to See You on the Internet, a podcast exploring life, love, and the pursuit of happiness in the age of the internet. We're your hosts.
I'm Kate.
And I'm Nicole.
Let's get into it.
All right. We are very excited. We are going to start doing like little mini-sodes throughout the week that we don't do full episodes. We just want to stay topical. We want you guys to hear from us every single week because we know you miss us. So this week we're going to be covering our thoughts and feelings on the Drive to Survive Season 7.
Season 7, baby. Let's go. Season 7 dropped on Friday the 7th. And capture the entirety of the 2024 F1 season. And Drive to Survive is something that I feel like is a little bit controversial now because some people think that it's like amazing and love it, and some people think that it's kind of overdone and outplayed and needs to kind of reinvent the wheel on how they're showcasing the show. Kind of feels a little formulaic, but I enjoyed it. I thought I had a lot of fun because I just think that the way that they promote it and like put it out like a couple weeks before the first race is always great. Like it got me so excited for this new season. It like reminded, like last year was a crazy season. And here's where I think that some people sometimes have been annoyed in the past is because the seasons were generally boring, and so there wasn't a lot that happened, and so watching Drive to Survive felt a little bit repetitive, and I was like, I've already seen all of this, like you're not really showing me anything new. But with this season, like 2024 was a crazy F1 season. Like lots of stuff happened. There were so many storylines, drivers getting replaced, new rookies coming in, people getting injured, a title fight for the first time, like different race teams winning, a new constructors champion, like so many things that actually I did forget a lot of what happened last year. And so like watching Drive to Survive, I was like, oh my God, okay, this is really good. And it's reminding me everything that happened last year and is like getting me so excited for what is to come this season. So I have to say I really liked it.
I will say I didn't finish all of it. Just simply haven't had time. However, I have really enjoyed the episodes that I've watched. I will say my one gripe now that it's season 7, I want less on-track action in the show. I'm like, I don't care about the things that are happening on track. Like most people who watch Drive to Survive are fans now and they watched last season, right? And so I'm like, there's so much like on track action, and unless like it just feels like it was repetitive and I was kind of like zoning out. But I love the behind the scenes. Like I want more interviews. I want more like I wanted more like Carlos like having conversations about the contract, and like I wanted, him talking to his dad, or like more Lando. Like they couldn't add any footage of Lando like hurting his nose at King's Day in Amsterdam. Like I would have loved like just a little bit more about them. But otherwise, like it was so wholesome. Like I know you are currently obsessed with Kimmy Antonelli. You're team ride or die for Kimmy Antonelli, and like
that's one of my notes. I had a whole like running list of notes as I was watching, and literally all caps, I love Kimmy Antonelli. Like I feel like I'm spiraling over this child.
This teeny tiny baby.
In a way where I feel as though that's like my son. Like that, I'm like, it feels as though that's like it's a combo of like my little brother and my child. Like I feel fiercely protective over him. I think he's so freaking adorable. Like he's so cute. I could just like pinch his little cheeks and eat him up. Like I just want to take a little bite out of his stupid cute little face. He's so cute.
Cuteness so cute.
I'm literally like I could just squeeze him. He's so adorable and he's so funny, and like he was so innocent. And when they're taking the photo, they're like taking the photo, him, George, and Toto, and they're like, oh, say Lewis or something, or like someone goes, where's Lewis? And they're all laughing. He goes, wait, what is this about? Where is Lewis? And I'm just like, what do you mean? I'm obsessed with him. He's just so freaking cute. I did also write that he looks like a little Ryan Sheckler. with his little flippy
He
hair.
does.
He was like really
Yeah.
giving me like Ryan Sheckler vibes. I was like, he's about to do a little kickflip or something.
Do a
I was
little
really
kickflip.
obsessed. I love him. So yeah, if I got one thing from this season, it's like I won't say I have a
Kate's
new
a Kimmy
favorite.
stan.
But I do have a new number 2. Like Charles always is gonna have my love, but I am rooting for little Kimmy Antonelli this year. Like if anyone crashes into him, I'm gonna catch these hands. I'm gonna be so pissed if anyone's mean to him. Like that's my child.
That's your
Don't
child.
ever talk to me or my son again.
No, it was so sweet. And like, it's so funny though. Like, I truly, when they called him to tell him that he was like being a Mercedes driver, I was like, one of two things happened here. They either said, okay, we're going to run it back and pretend like you're hearing about this for the first time. Or he already knew that was happening because they were like, hey, Netflix is coming in. You have to be ready to receive this call. Also, the product placement of WhatsApp. Hey, Toto, hey, we made a WhatsApp group chat so that we could call you about this announcement. Okay, boo, whatever. Give me a break. But I was just like, either way, I think Kimmy's a bad actor because he's like, oh my God, yay.
But when he
And
goes
I was
and
like,
he tells his
no,
like
really
grandma,
sweet.
I shed a few tears. I was like, this
But it
is
was really cute because I
so
was like,
sweet.
okay, they either primed him for this or they made him run it back. Or they were like, okay,
17.
you have gotten
He
it,
doesn't
but
even
you
have
need
his
to wait.
driver's license yet. And he's so I'm so obsessed with him.
This
He's
is Kate's
17 and he's literally living
son.
the dream. Oh, I'm so proud of him. Like so proud of him. Can I say my favorite thing about this season compared to the last few?
Please.
Netflix really said 86 Danica sub Claire Williams.
I know.
Yes, it was
Oh,
so
shit,
good.
I literally was like, not a Danica in sight. They heard the people. They you know
said,
what?
do you
Respect
hear
where
the
respect is due.
people singing the songs of angry men, saying we do not want to see Danica on Drive to Survive? They said, yeah,
Exactly.
we hear the people singing, and we will not do it. And
And you
I
know what?
hate them.
I'm impressed that they took that feedback and made it a reality. They
Mm-hmm.
said, Jensen, you are the fan favorite, and there will be more of you in Drive to Survive season
He was
7.
also I was obsessed with him in it because he was just like so casual. Like I feel like all of the presenters were like in like I was like, did
It's not like they plucked him off the street.
He literally was like at the beach and they were like, yo,
Yeah.
can you actually hop in here really quick? Is in his like fun party shirt. Like he was so funny. I'm
Obsessed
just
with him.
kind of gonna go down my list of notes that
Okay.
I took because I think I
Go for it.
captured almost everything that happened and we can all chat. So
Okay.
in the most like what am I looking at moments of this show?
Okay.
Did we see Carlos's pubes?
No, dead ass. When I say that episode aired, I was like doing something in my kitchen. I looked up, I gasped, I said, Carlos.
I'm sitting
Like,
next to Nick and we're both watching and I go, did they just do a zoom in crotch shot on Carlos as he's like kind of taking his pants off and I'm seeing his pubic hair? And Nick was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what just happened. I was like, and then
you
they
know
did it
what?
again. They ran it back and they were like, that actually wasn't enough. So people needed to see that
Guess
again. And they did it again.
Guess who wasn't
later on. I
mad
was like,
about it? Guess who wasn't mad about it? Me.
anyone. Not a single person was mad about it. But I truly was shocked. I said, that was so unexpected.
Like literally by myself, gasped, whispered. I was like, Carlos.
Also speaking of Carlos, but cousin Carlos, I realized as he was doing one of his like interviews,
Mm-hmm.
I realized that he looks like the meat fish from SpongeBob. Then he goes,
what?
Meep, meep. The guy that's in the jellyfish club. Not the main guy, but all the ones that follow him around.
Kevin?
No, not him. The ones that like follow him around and are the sardines that are like meep. who
You know what? Dead ass.
no,
Dead
literally.
ass. That is Cousin Carlos. Cousin Carlos is a meet me. And you know what? Because he's like, oh, I'm manager Carlos and also his cousin.
No, literally. And also
I'm
he
his
gave
manager and also his cousin.
and he gave himself a nickname on this one. Like Coco or something, and I was like, okay, I'm kind of obsessed with you. Like, he's really trying to reinvent his image on here, and I love it.
He said, I'm not just a Nepo baby. Okay. I
No.
am Carlos, his
Oh,
manager, who
Kako.
got
It was
him
like
a deal at
Kako was his
Williams.
name. And I was like, got it. We've just been calling you Cousin Carlos forever. And then in another show-stopping moment where I truly had to look at Nick and Sainz and say, what were we just shown? Was Zach's fungusy
Max
toenail.
toes. Please.
I actually, this is a call out. This is a call to Box to Box.
Box to Box
you guys
giveth.
know us. I know you guys know us. We've chatted. I need to know who was responsible for the final cut of this episode and why
Was
that
Dan Schneider in the room with you? What's going on?
I need to know why that particular shot, how that made it to the end.
Mm-hmm.
Just his yellowed fungusy toenail just swishing underwater in his pool. I said, there are so many other shots that could have been put right here to show that Zach.
That B-roll did not need to be shown.
No, that was actually an affront to me. Also, just like a thought,
they giveth by not giving us Danica, and they taketh away by making us.
They said we'll give you Carlos's pubes, but we will also show you Zach's fungus nail. You know what? The
beggars
scales of fate have to be balanced. The scales of fate must always be in balance.
Exactly.
I also just had a thought as I was watching it, and I was like, "This is confirmed. Party boy Lando is my favorite. He's such a little fucking douche boy.
Yes,
and I love it.
Was that ever in question? Like,
no, but I just feel like they like showed a lot more of it, and also like all the other boys were like, yeah, Lando's kind of like in his party dick phase.
Speaking of party dick phase, when they're talking to Jack about Carlos, and they're like, "Oh yeah, Carlos is," and Jack is like the slut of the paddock, and they're like,
I know. I was like, okay, T, you're right. You are right. You are so
I was like,
right.
yeah, he is a slut. They just showed his pubes.
And he said, cosign. He said, approved. You can use that shot. I was also dying when Susie and Toto were talking about replacing Lewis and like going through all of his options. Toto goes Fernando Alonso, and Susie just goes, like, makes the most disgusted face, and I was like, I need to know her thoughts and opinions on this.
We need to know more about Susie's beef with the Fernando.
It was so funny that, again, like, they kept that part in, and she was like, he's old. It was just like very funny.
Went in the direct opposite direction and hired the youngest possible person that they could.
No, literally, it was amazing. George and the flip-flops also, I was just he walked onto my screen and I said, put those away.
Put the dogs away.
No self-respecting man is walking around in flip-flops. I'm sorry.
Quentin Tarantino, Dan Schneider, who was in charge of the final cut of all these foot photos? Okay, too much foot fetish. We already have talked about who's on WikiFeet. This season is gonna have exploded the driver's WikiFeet collection. Exploded.
Then I went to a couple thoughts about James Vowles, my king. And I would actually, I think, trust him with my life. Like, I would give him the nuclear codes. Like, I would tell him my deepest, darkest secrets, and I would trust him to protect those. Like, if I was ever in danger, I would call him. You know what I mean?
He's my emergency contact.
I just feel like
he doesn't know it.
And also, I did fan cast him. He could be played by Benedict Cumberbatch, like, so easily.
100%.
Their vibes are like almost exact.
Yeah.
So that's a fan
He
cast
has
right
such a
there.
calming voice. Like, I understand, like, why he was a race
Yeah.
engineer. Like, his voice, like, is so, like,
Yeah. They need
steady
to do
and
like a
calm
bedtime
and, like,
story with him.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And also, like, never forget last year when we went to the Williams car launch here in New York and we got to talk to James, and he goes, the ladies over here have not been able to ask a question, so I'm going to save the time to let them ask questions over here. Okay, ally. Okay, king.
Literally.
He said, you men have spoken enough. You will not talk over the women, and I'm going to give them dedicated time. And we love that. So he has been truly one of my favorite people since that moment,
Yeah.
because he really does,
Walk the
like,
walk.
I feel like he walks the walk and he talks the talk. You know what I mean? And it feels like from watching
Absolutely.
this season, like, with his care and consideration with the Carlos contract, and, like, again, it was so funny when he when they do sign Carlos and they show, he goes, he's back at the factory and he's like, all right, well, I'll just, I'll let him say it, and it's Carlos. It really felt like that clip from when they killed Saddam Hussein or Osama bin Laden. He's like, ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Like, that's how, like, that's genuinely how it felt when he was like, hey guys, we got him.
Cool. That was absolutely
Are you
so
that
out of
is
pocket. That was so
yeah,
out of
but
pocket. That was not what I was expecting you to say. I thought we were going to commiserate over how sad it was when they thought that Carlos was going to sign and he just ghosted them and never showed up.
okay,
They
well, no
had
no
to
no
then
no
take
no
the
no 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 no
champagne
no
back
no.
out of the ice bucket.
Time out. That is a manufactured scene, because James is wearing the same shirt that he's wearing in the scene where they're like, oh, he's not coming, and then it's in the same hotel in the same room when he does sign it. I'm sorry, that's manufactured. I don't believe that actually happened. That's production. That's the producers are creating a fake storyline. I'm sorry. So to me, the Carlos was always in the bag.
But also the scene where it's like the scene where Carlos chooses finally to go to Williams and they have like all three of the potential team principals like wait kind of like in a spot and like the door opens, they're all like and you're like
Oh,
waiting to see it.
oh,
Which are, like
and
I
it
was
was so funny because it's like, okay, we literally are in the future. We know who he's
it was
picking.
so funny, but it also like Carlos choosing what team he was gonna go to like really kind of felt like signing day, like college signing day when like all the high schoolers like sit at like one of those like party folding tables and they're like I am going to college at NYU and they like put a hat on.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like when Carlos was choosing which team he was going to go to.
But
Um
again, and we have been saying this. We've been saying this from the beginning since Carlos has been rumored to go to Williams. Like, the fact that the story that they're telling is he believes in Williams and he believes in the future of this team and the vision and bringing
yeah.
this team back to greatness.
Yeah.
We have been saying that. That's the story that we've been believing,
Yes.
we've been saying. And so I was like,
Mhm.
yes, exactly. And Kate and Nicole have been saying this since the beginning.
Since the
So
beginning.
the Williams girlies are up.
Yeah. 100%. Okay, a couple of other things that I had in here. One, I would throw myself in front of an 18-wheeler for Alex Albon, no questions asked.
Yep.
And I don't think I have
Co-signed.
to expand. Christian takes himself far too seriously. I can't deal with him anymore. I can't deal with him anymore. Loved the episode of Charles winning Monaco. That was cinema.
Mhm.
That was cinema. It was so good. They did
I
such a
was
nice job following
questioning.
him around.
Yes. I was questioning though when he was like, it was like the night before Monaco and he's like got to take Leo out, and I'm like, send Alex out. Like, don't you have like anyone else who could take your dog
Yeah.
out for you while you're like, I can't turn off, like I'm at home. Like, send, like, get some good rest. Like, send someone else to take your dog outside. Like, I don't know.
I just feel like that episode was so great. I loved seeing kind of his process throughout the weekend and like him at home and getting like I just felt like it was really really well done. And just like a really nice tribute to like that curse being broken.
Yeah.
Also when he called Alex baby, I was just like That should be me.
Actually,
And then I was
I
screaming when he was like, Alex, what are you having for lunch, baby? Or breakfast, baby? And she was like, a chicken satay. And he was like, no, I don't want a chicken satay for breakfast. And she was like, it's 3 p.m. I was like, what is going on here? But I was obsessed, and I just really like loved that episode. Obsessed with George outing Carmen for like loving to skinny dip. In that one episode, they're like in the pool, and he was like, she's like, oh yeah, we're just like going swimming for like Singapore, and he's like, if it was up to Carmen, she'd be naked. I was like, she's like, I always am. I love to skinny dip. I was like,
good for her.
information I didn't
She's
ask
got a hot
for,
bod.
but like, let's go, pop off. Um, speak on it, Nicole. Speak on the Uncle Danny scene.
I
On the
haven't
Uncle
watched
Danny
it yet.
content.
I haven't watched the Danny scene yet because I've been too emotional. Like I genuinely am scared to watch it. Like I have seen some of the clips like on the internet and I'm like, actually, I'm not in a mental state to be watching this right now. Like this is similar to how I have avoided all content of Liam Payne's funeral. When we were in Vegas when Liam's Payne funeral was, I never went back and looked at any of the photos. The Brits, when it was the Brits recap and like the in memoriam, I was somewhere else, didn't watch it. I'm like, actually, that's none of my business. Like, I'm not emotionally stable enough to handle this. I will watch the Danny content. And I have seen some of the clips, and he looks so good. He looks so healthy and happy. And I just am like, I'm so proud of him. But like, I'm so sad.
There's like a whole scene where he's going swimming with his nephew, and it is so pure and wholesome. I loved
can't get
it.
back into this. Like, I can't be dragged back into this. I can't. Like, that would send, if this was the year 2020 and I saw that content, I would have to be put on a watch list. Like I would
100%.
need to be
Yeah,
institutionalized. Like this is
100%.
not even a joke. Like, and I fear with his new content lately, like seeing him put out the rose video, I
Yeah.
might be back. I might be back. I don't know, and I'm scared. I'm really scared to find out.
Yeah, it was a lot. So I'm praying for you when you do end up watching that. And I will tell you that one of his most iconic quotes he said was when he was trying to get the Red Bull seat, and he goes, "I got to remind these cats that I'm still that dog." And I was like,
Did
I
you
hate
see
him.
how
I hate him so much, but I love him.
Did you see how Liam Lawson put out like a quote saying
Mm-hmm.
that when he got the Red Bull seat, like the only person who texted him to congratulate him was Danny, and I was like,
No, literally,
I
like
love you. I love you.
he's a
No
good
one,
man.
they'll never make me hate you, Daniel
No,
Ricciardo. People may
never.
try. He may try. Okay, he may try my
Yeah.
patience, but he will never make me hate him.
Mm-hmm. Amen. Amen. And then my last final notes are about Flavio Briatore. That man is clinically insane.
Literally,
That man
I'm
is
so
insane.
sorry. The energy he was bringing is insane. But
And
it's
also,
so funny.
you haven't watched the final few episodes, correct?
No.
That man
I think I have 4
hates
more episodes left.
that man hates Esteban Ocon
I
with
mean,
like
sure.
a deep burning passion. Like hates Esteban. It was kind of insane. Like I like am watching this, and he is just absolutely like not holding back. He hated Esteban. It was kind of insane. And I said, this man is a psychopath. He has some wires that are like shorting out, I think. Like there is
I mean, he
something
got
very wrong.
banned. He got banned
Yes.
because of the crash gate. So like
Yeah. There's
obviously
something
he's
very wrong with
crazy.
him. Yeah.
But you know what? He brings an energy to the paddock that I think we haven't seen since the 90s. And I'm like really excited to like have this
Yeah.
chaotic energy
Oh,
back.
I'm
Like
not saying any of
we
this in a bad way.
no
That
no no
man
no.
is like a sociopath, but I'm excited about him.
We need that. We need that. F1
Non-derogatory.
has gone too woke, as the kids say. We need them to be sexy again. We need them to be kind of chaotic. We need them to crash their cars on purpose in order to win championships. Like I
Yeah.
think that like this could be really fun for the 2025 season.
Yeah. Like I did write down that Flavio and Lawrence Stroll are two sides of the same coin.
100%.
Like those, and they
Absolutely.
like when they when they see each other in the paddock, I was just like, there's too much evil converging. Like I was like, ooh, it's a meeting of the minds, and I actually feel like the energy is too dark right now. I don't want to be here, and I don't really want to be witnessing
It's
this.
sinister. Yeah.
Yeah, the vibes are so sinister. Um, I didn't like it. But yeah, it was all in all, I think it was a good season of Drive to
Yeah.
Survive. Um, I did appreciate that they did highlight Christian's
I know. I
scandal.
was worried they were going to bury it.
I'm really happy that they did, and I liked that they had a little notice at the end being like it was appealed
Hmm.
and like things are
Hmm.
kind of still moving. So I really appreciated that. I liked that they didn't gloss over it, and I liked that they just had all the other team principals absolutely just shitting on his life. Like it was funny, and I appreciated
Everyone hates Christian Horner. I'm sorry. Everyone hates him. The fact that like the whole Yost situation, they were like they're trying to get him fired. Like it
that.
was hysterical. Like the what a way to open the season. And like both like with the
Truly.
F1 season and like I'm sorry, I will never forget receiving the folder of leaked messages. I was sitting in a company all hands meeting and I was like, I have to go to the bathroom. I have to get out of here. Like, I need to open this Google Drive immediately. Like you'll never forget where you were when the anonymous email went out to all of the media.
Never.
It was insane, and I'm just happy to have been a part of it.
I love them
But
showing that too, like showing all the team principals like getting the email and Toto being like, "It's an email. Do we
it
think
was
it's to
so
everyone?"
funny.
It was
And
yeah.
Christian's like, Netflix always makes me look like the bad guy. Netflix, boo. Shut up, you are. And then the perp walk they made Jerry do at the, and she's like,
Literally
and
like
I'm like, oh girl,
I'm like
girl,
Jerry,
I hate
blink
that for
twice if you
you.
need me. Oh my
I
god.
hated it. Yeah, so it'll be interesting. I've been talking about this a lot, like with people where I'll be really interested to see how the Christian Horner situation like plays out in court.
Yeah,
Which it's not going to go to court until 2026 apparently. But it'll be interesting to say the least. So
it
we will be
absolutely will
following
be.
that.
Yeah. All in all, I think it was a good season of Drive to Survive. I think it did a nice job recapping everything that went down last year and got me really excited for what's to come this year. I think here's the thing is I guess they can't because they have to finish the season like way before like the season starts. But I
Mhm.
wish that they would then do like almost like a preview of like the next like racing season, almost just say like who's on what teams and like
Yeah.
intro
Yeah.
the rookies if they didn't get an intro because like I want
Yeah.
to know more about Isaac who is joining Yuki, right? He's joining Yuki on
Hmm.
and like I want to know like I feel like I just kind of wish that at the end of the season they'd be like and that's where 2024 ended but like this is where 2025 is starting because like I think they could do that within like the last
Yeah.
month everything has been set
Yeah.
and just kind of do like okay here's like the team lineup for next season and here are the new rookies here are the new faces you need to know especially if they're going to use this season like dropping as promo for the
Yeah.
upcoming F1 season. Like I feel like that would be really helpful. So constructive criticism or feedback if anyone is listening to this that has is in the room where it happens as they say. But I did watch a video today on the F1 rookies and those are my children. Like I love them. They're all very silly, goofy fun and it reminds me of the rookie season with Charles, Alex, George. Like it reminds me of like that group of
Hmm.
rookies coming onto the scene.
Just how fast the
Um
night changes.
they all just seem like they get along and they're making fun of each other and they're joking and they're having a laugh and I am so excited. It's been a while since we've had like a decent sized like rookie
Rookie class.
class
Yeah.
and I'm really excited. I think it's going to be
Yeah.
really good. I think it's going to be a good season and I'm excited to really enjoy it this year. I think
Hmm.
as see you on the internet, we have for the first time in years, I think we just get to just genuinely be fans of
Fans.
this
Yeah.
sport and talk about it as fans versus people that are like kind of obligated to speak on it. It's not a
Yeah.
job now. It's just we can really just like consume the content, enjoy it as fans, and really talk about it without any pressure. And I'm really excited to just really enjoy this season. I think it's going to be a good one.
Same.
And so for anyone listening, we will be consuming F1 this year, and we will be talking about the storylines that are important and that we are interested in and that we, you know, have a passion to speak on this podcast. But I think it'll make for more engaging conversation and more fun conversations because whatever we choose to talk about on this podcast about F1 will be truly things that we really care about and not just, you know, trying to fill an hour every single week about F1 stuff, which can really burn you girls out. So more to come on F1 this season, and I, for one, cannot wait.
Thanks for listening to See You on the Internet.
To keep up with the fun between episodes, make sure to follow us at See You on the Internet Pod on both Instagram and TikTok.
And to join in on the fun on the podcast itself, call the Kate Nicole hotline at 646-780-9063 or email us at hi@seeyouontheinternetpod.com.
We'll be back with a new episode soon, but in the meantime, we'll see you on the internet.